Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday morning start sit show. My name is Topher Kurt, but you can call me Topher, and I host this gig weekly with Jamie Perog. And this week we have the boss, Jeff Lambert, up here with us. Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Absolutely, man. I don't get too many Sundays. I will.
Say that I think your mic cut out for a second.
I said I don't get many Sundays off, but when I do, if I can hop on with you guys, I will.
Fantastic. We love to have you. So this is great. This is the time where you can ask us your start sit questions. Not can, you should. This is what this is about. Who should you start? Who shouldn't you start? Are there any start sit questions that either of you two have to get things going?
Me personally, I don't have any right now, but I did have some from the Discord that I can. There's one just recently that was asked by Stop Wasting My Time is his name in the Discord. He has to pick one full PPR, three tight ends. You got Evan Ingram versus Indy, Kincaid versus the Jets, and Fannin versus Baltimore.
For me, I got Fannin the highest. Is that strange?
No, I agree. I think in full PPR, I think Fannin is the one to go with, right? He had a tremendous amount of volume last week, and I expect it to be pretty much the same. And he actually played in the slot a lot with Njoku build as well. So I think in PPR, he gets the volume. I think if you were in half PPR, I might lean Ingram or Kincaid because I think they got more touchdown upside. But in full PPR, I'm going Fannin here.
Yeah, I even brought it up on Chi on Tuesday. Like Fannin played 72% of the snaps and got like a 21.6% of the target share, which is insane.
Especially for a rookie tight end in his first game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that he played more like a wide receiver than a tight end a lot of the time. And
they played him everywhere.
Yeah, he was their gadget player, which is kind of unheard of from the tight end position. So I'm definitely going Fannin in that spot. I'm hoping that week one isn't lying to us because we know that we obviously know his talent is real. We heard about it if you've paid attention at all during the draft off season, the draft, anything like that. You know that his talent is there. So that's my thought with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he even got a carry out of the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, there you yeah. And we know how much Flacco loves his tight ends. I mean, he's made tight ends relevant, his whole career. He made Njoku like a top 12, top 10, I think, actually, a couple years ago when he was he was Cleveland a while ago. So
yes,
yeah, he loves his tight ends. I got another one here from Schwartz from the Discord. We got to pick two receivers, full PPR.
Okay.
Pearsall, Emeka Mbuka, Keenan Allen, or Devonta Smith. I'll go to you first, Jamie. Give me your thoughts.
So it was Pearsall, Devonta Smith,
Mbuka, and Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Well, it's not Keenan Allen. I have Devonta Smith in my top 15 this week. I think he scores a touchdown. I even put a bet on him on DraftKings. So I'm gonna go Smith.
You got to pick two. So you got to
pick two. Shoot, I can't sit Mbuka, even though I got Ricky Pearsall a few spots ahead of him. I just love that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I'm going Smith and Mbuka as well. And if you look at Devonta Smith's splits when Goddard is out of the lineup, it's a huge difference. And Goddard's already been ruled out. So obviously, and I think this is going to be a fairly high scoring game. Two great teams. I think Devonta Smith is going to show out today. So he's definitely locked in. And then it's between Mbuka and Pearsall. And the only reason why I'm going to lean Mbuka is because of Mac Jones. If Mac Jones wasn't starting, I'd feel more comfortable starting Pearsall. But I haven't seen Mac Jones in this offense yet. He's been in there, all off season, but he hasn't played a live game with it yet. So I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. So it's Mbuka and Devonta Smith for me for sure.
Yeah, I'm concerned if Mbuka doesn't score a touchdown, he might be capped at 45, 50 yards, just seeing what we saw from week one. Because Sterling Shepard and him were very close in target share. Like I love Ibuka, but I think we're also riding high on fantasy points because of his double touchdowns. I think that Mac Jones carried the torch that led Brian Thomas Jr. to his ultimate win right there, and I'm all about it. If I'm sitting one of those three, because Alan's not in the conversation, I hate to admit it, but I'm sitting at Buka.
I think we got an issue. Are you guys seeing the chat questions?
No, not at all.
Yeah, we have people in the chat. Brian asking if we're in the Scott Fishbowl. I think we're all in Scott Fishbowl.
Yes, I am.
Let's see, Old Fashioned Football. It's my buddy J Mark said, "What's up?" And let's see, Jackie Dotson, flex Travis Etienne or Devonta Smith in full PPR.
Ooh.
Well, it's good that he asked about Devonta Smith, because I just pulled up his splits, talking about when Goddard is out. So he's played 17 games without Goddard and 56 games with Goddard. The difference is he gets a full target more per game. He gets about 30 extra receiving yards, and his receiving touchdowns pretty much double. So in full PPR, to put that in points, with Goddard, he's about 12.8. Without Goddard, he's 16.4 average PPR points per game. So a pretty substantial difference there. So I'm Devonta Smith all the way.
Yeah, I'm Devonta Smith too. I am worried that, yes, we saw Travis Etienne go off, but we saw Travis Etienne go off against the Carolina Panthers. I feel like my hometown high school football team that is not known for winning could make some rushing yardage against the Carolina Panthers defense. So I am going to trust the Super Bowl champions more than the, the Jacksonville Jaguars that had a top 5 pick this last year.
Yeah, agreed.
That's where I'm at with it. Okay.
Jamie, where do you fall with that one?
Yeah, I'm going Devonta Smith over Etienne. I just think they probably work in more Tootin also this week.
Yeah.
I love that name, Tootin.
Yeah, darn Tootin.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the comments. We can't seem to see any of the comments. So
yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on. I got the stream pulled up on my phone.
Awesome. And I am looking on and pulling up the Facebook one as well to see.
I got another one here from the Discord from Jeffro303, and he is full PPR. Tony Pollard or Jacoby Myers.
Who is the first name again?
Tony Pollard. Titans. They got the Rams today, and then Jacoby is playing, I believe, Monday night. Who are they playing? Is it Monday night or Sunday night? They're playing one of the prime time.
It is Monday night.
Monday night against...
Oh, Chargers.
Yes, Chargers. I'm going Jacoby. If it wasn't for Josh Allen throwing like a QB1 in just the fourth quarter, Geno Smith would have had the most yards last week against the Patriots, which isn't a bad thing at all. And Geno Smith has been known to throw a lot of yards. Last year, he was fourth most in the league with yardage. And then last year, it was either there's only one or two teams. I can't remember the stat fully. It's either one or two teams that had 2 1,000-yard receivers last year. And Las Vegas Raiders were one of the 2 or one of one with Bowers and Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers is easily going to get the ball no matter what. Titans played Denver last week. They struggled a bit. It's a rookie quarterback. It's an underwhelming team. I'm not ready to trust Pollard over Jacoby Myers right now. That's not where I'm at.
I got some breaking news.
Ooh.
On us. It's important for the for the offense, I think, of this team. And then actually, I think some people are probably starting the other guy, but two guys have been ruled in for the 49ers. Trent Williams and Juwan Jennings both will play today.
Oh,
obviously that helps anybody who owns Jennings, but also helps Christian McCaffrey owners because without Trent Williams there, it might have been a rough sledding. So pretty big news that they're going to be actually in today.
All right, we got another question in the chat. Matthew Morris. It is a 0.75 tight end premium full PPR. Diggs versus Miami or Laporta versus Chicago?
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I think because of the tight end premium, I'm going to lean Laporta. I think the Lions found a way to get him the ball last week, and I think that's going to be a thing going forward. I think he had, I believe, 9 targets off the top of my head, and they were actually manufacturing targets. Like he was the first read option. It wasn't like he went to look at Amon-Ra and came to Laporta. Laporta was the first read option. So I think that combined with the fact that it's 0.75 tight end premium, I'm going Laporta here.
Oh, same here. And thank you, Matt, for being here. He's a good buddy of mine. I appreciate him fully. Since week 8 last year, Laporta has only had one game where he did not have at least 6 targets. His last 5 games last season, 7, 10, 7, 8, 7, and then this year had 9 targets. And in those last 5 games last year, yardage was 54, 111, 43, 64, 63, and then last week had 79. He is going to be a very consistent option. While looking, it was Diggs was the other person, right?
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs in his last, he played 8 games last season. He had 5 receptions in 7 of 8 of those games. And then last week as well, he had 6 receptions. He is a shoe-in for at least 5 receptions every single week. And they are playing a terrible Miami defense. I think Laporta is your safer option because I think Kayshon Boutte is going to lead that receiving core.
So for me, without the premium, I got Laporta at 11.5 points, Diggs at 13.1. So you got to figure in that's only 2 catches for that 0.75. You think Laporta is going to get more than 2 catches, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, I'm going to go Laporta.
Absolutely. Oh, something that might help out. The Devin Witherspoon of the Seahawks is inactive today against the Steelers. So that's something to keep into account. And then who else was? Oh, Jack Conklin of the Browns is out. So,
yep.
So we do got a couple more questions in the chat. Alex Smith, I think that's a former quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, right?
Yep.
All right. We got a
coming to us. Yes.
Thanks for tuning in, Alex. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So
sorry, what happened to your leg?
They want to know, should I start David Montgomery, Travis Hunter, or Kenneth Walker full PPR?
Ooh.
Say those names again. I'm such a visual guy.
Yeah, David Montgomery, Travis Hunter, Kenneth Walker, full PPR.
So I think I'm taking Kenneth Walker out of those only because him and Charbonnet split 50-50 last week, and it wasn't a good 50% for Walker in that game. And I want to see more of how they're going to use him before I can plug him back into my lineup. So then it's between David Montgomery and Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter was one of, I believe, only 3 rookie receivers in week 1 to get a 25% or larger target share, which is pretty surprising. He didn't do a whole lot with those targets. I think he only had like 30 or 40 yards. But the targets were there. That's what we look for, right? We want the volume. We want the targets. And then David Montgomery, again, that's a tough with the 50%. Now the Lions have made it work in years past. They didn't really look good in week 1. So honestly, I think I'm going to lean Travis Hunter here. I think I'm going to bank on that volume happening again, and hopefully he's able to do more with it this time around.
I agree with that. Travis Hunter was targeted 30% of the time he ran a route. last week, and he had 88% catchable targets compared to his teammate Brian Thomas Jr., who had 43% catchable targets. So Travis Hunter, yes, he's not getting a lot of yards, but he was drafted number 2 overall. They want to integrate him into this office. They said he could get, or that he will. Liam Cohen said on Wednesday that Hunter will get more snaps on defense. But I mean, I think he'll still be playing offense a lot, especially because they're going to be playing Cincinnati. If they can walk away upsetting Cincinnati with using Travis Hunter in their offense just as much and keeping him utilized on defense, they will.
Yeah, one thing that we don't talk about much in the season long world is Vegas totals. We use it a lot in DFS because you're targeting certain games, and this game has the highest total. I think it was 49.5 points the last time I saw it. So points scored in this game. At least Vegas thinks so. So if Vegas thinks so, and they make millions, billions a year, I'm going to bank on Vegas more often than not. So that there will be some points scored in this game, and Hunter getting his first touchdown. I would probably bet on that if I could.
Yeah, I can see BTJ also getting a touchdown in a game, maybe even 2. But with Kenneth Walker, I think people are panicking on him. He didn't practice, or he didn't play all preseason, right? I think it was a groin or hamstring, but he didn't practice much either. So they're gonna start putting him more into that offense going forward. But with that said, Montgomery, he's gonna be touchdown dependent. I'm gonna go Travis Hunter also. Let's book it.
Look at so far we're all agreeing. It's not good. We don't have.
Well, great minds do think alike, right?
Yeah.
Here's an easy one.
It's also good for the viewers. Like, hey, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, but unless we're wrong, then they ain't coming back, right?
So drop the Mike FF. Mike over.
Hey, there we go, Mike.
He wants to know Booty or Thielen. This is easy for me.
Booty.
It's Booty. Booty rocking everywhere.
Yes,
I found you.
Book it.
Let's see. Matthew Morris said, "Thanks, guys. We appreciate you and your questions." Let's see. One more. We got David Njoku or Harold Fannin. Let's see. He says, "Too soon to pivot to the kid. He basically looked like their slot receiver."
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I actually had this exact scenario in my home league. Drafted Fannin, had Fannin on my taxi squad. Also have George Kittle. George Kittle got hurt, so I could put Njoku into my starting tight end position, but I actually activated Fannin off the taxi squad and put him right into my starting lineup because I believe in him. I think his talent showed through. And I think the volume's there. So I'm playing Fannin over Njoku in my own league, my home league. So that's who I'm going with.
Yeah, I love that. I actually have them back-to-back at tight end 13 and 14. I would play Fannin. Love the guy. His family's awesome. I hung out with his mom and his uncle.
You're like the second or third person that I know that has hung out with the.
Well, it's all because of me. You know that, right? I was the one that discovered them and introduced them to everyone at the expo.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was me. I was randomly just talking to some random dude. We were having a cigarette, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just here to watch my nephew play." And I'm like, "Who's your nephew?" He's like, "Harold Fannin." I'm like, "Oh!" Instantly pulled up my write-up I had on him. He was like, "Dude, you got to show this to his mom." Like, okay, cool. So
hell yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Hey, look at that! I'm starting to see things in the chat.
Oh, finally, the chat's showing up. Here we go. But we are, I think, one behind.
Yeah, we got Justin Pierce has got a question that didn't show up on
real quick. I'm in a what's it called? Fantasy football league that's like set up like the Traders, the TV show, and so my team name is Bob the Drag Queen.
Yeah, I was wondering what that comment meant.
Yeah, so
ignore that one.
Bob the Drag Queen from Traders and from RuPaul's Drag Race fame. Love it.
All right, Jamie, go ahead and give Justin Pierce's question.
Hold on, let me pull it up. It's a defense question. Arizona versus Carolina or Saints
versus Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. So I don't rank defenses, so I'm gonna have to pull up a trusted source. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll talk about it from a DFS perspective because we do defenses in daily fantasy as well. And Arizona is one of the highest priced defenses because of that matchup with Mac Jones. However, I think if you're looking for upside, I'm going to lean towards Arizona because I think the Niners' game plan today is going to be super conservative. I know people always think defenses, they think, oh, points scored, points scored. Really, it's not about points scored. It's about sacks, turnovers. Those are the two key components to a defense. That's what you really want. I mean, yes, holding a team to 7 points is good for your points as well, but it doesn't happen very often. You want sacks and turnovers, and I don't think Shanahan's going to put Mac Jones in any situations where he's going to be forced to take a sack or going to turn the ball over. So I think they're going to Arizona's going to have more opportunities to get those turnovers from Bryce Young and to get the sacks from Bryce Young. So I think I'm going Arizona here.
Oh, same here. I think that is a very, very easy one for me. That I'm going Arizona. I don't think there's a question with it. The Saints just, even though they're playing a riddled San Fran offense, there's nothing on defense that I go, oh, okay, this could produce something. Arizona has some upside.
So my trusted source has Arizona Cardinals 7th and the Saints 8th. So
just barely
close. So I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals.
Looks like we're back to not getting comments again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's on the YouTube side or if it's on the restream side, but we do have Mike's on the screen there. I think his is the next question anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so Egbuka, London, or JMO, you have to sit one. He's a little concerned about London.
Man. Well, I'm not going to sit JMO because I think they play against man a lot.
He's the man beater.
Yeah, and he's definitely got to crush this game. If you're really concerned about London, I don't hate sitting him. Like, I have him in my top 10.
Yeah, so this is going to be our first disagreement, Jamie. I think I'm actually putting London in there. I know there's the injury risk because he, did hurt that shoulder in the last week, and there's some concern that he might not be able to play. But the fact that they cleared him early in the week is a big sign for me. We're not waiting to the game time decision. We know he's going to play today already. So that tells me that he's healthy enough to be out there, and Penix loves to target that guy. Even if he ends up being like only a red zone threat, I think he has a higher upside. Now, if we're talking best ball, you go with Jameson Williams because I think he has the home run threat ability. You mentioned he's the man beater. So he's definitely in there for like a best ball tournament. But if I'm going strictly on, I want the volume and I want my fantasy team to get volume, it's London and Egbuka for me.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll go London, JMO.
All right.
Yeah. I think that's a right call. I think because we know that JMO can go off on any game. We know that Egbuka has the talent, but do we know where the ball's going to go in Tampa Bay still? Because Sterling Shepard still, let me pull it up real quick because it still boggles my mind how targeted he was. Okay, so Sterling Shepard had the same amount of targets as target percentages. Egbuka with 21%. Egbuka ran routes 97% of the time. Mike Evans 89. Sterling Shepard 73. So I think that I like Egbuka, but they clearly have three people that they're going to be throwing the ball to.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do have one more in here from Brian Burst. It's a Scott Fishbowl question. So for those that don't play in the Scott Fishbowl, you might be confused because it's a very unique score.
Yes, it is.
So he's got choose two out of Shakir, Jalen Waddle, Hunter Henry, and Jonnu Smith. And then that says, Topher, good luck not getting chopped this week in the Challenge Guillotine League.
He doesn't need luck. He's got skill.
Actually, I think if it's in the challenge, I'm fine this week. I think I'm fine in the challenge. And the other one that I'm in though, I have Kittle that went down. Bill, Clinton, Krosky, Merritt, Willerson the third, and Matthew Golden, all they flunked for me, so I could be going down. But yeah, good luck to you two in the challenge. I'm feeling a lot better in that one. But could you
repeat the names for you? Shakir, Waddle, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith.
I'm starting Hunter Henry. That's an
immediate click, especially for Scott Fishbowl. I agree.
I'm starting Hunter Henry in my Scott Fishbowl over like Geno Smith, Juwan Jennings. So I do like that Henry call.
For those watching that are like, how are you starting a tight end over a quarterback? This is the Scott Fishbowl scoring. It is literally all flex positions. You can put anybody anywhere, and it's heavily leaning towards the tight end. It's got, I think it's 1 point tight end premium.
Well, no, you get 3 points, right?
3 points.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right, 3 points tight end premium. So it's very heavily leaning towards that. So the tight ends definitely get a lot of points, which is why Hunter Henry. Actually, he wants to pick 2. So I don't know if I can do Jonnu Smith. I think I'm going Hunter Henry and Shakir or Waddle. That's where it comes down to how you view those two guys. I'll defer to you, Topher, on that. Shakir or Waddle on that one.
I think Shakir. He's in the much better offense. I'm not trusting Jalen Waddle until they prove something, because they haven't really been able to prove a whole lot lately, unfortunately. Waddle, since last season when he played, he had 1, 2, 3, 4 games above 50. 5. I'm seeing another one. 5 games above 50 receiving yards. 5 of them. I don't want to trust that. He had 30 yards last week, 5 targets, 4 receptions. Khalil Shakir, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 64 yards. And he has a lot more consistency. He's not a boom or bust player. He's a very steady flex sort of guy. And Waddle right now, that whole offense is volatile. I'm going Shakir.
Jamie, what you got?
Well, definitely Hunter Henry, and man, I'm just gonna go Waddle. I don't know why. I just think he's gonna do pretty good today.
I think they're at home, so I mean that does help. I think the Dolphins are going to play a little bit better than last week. But I'm going to go back to the Scott Fishbowl scoring and how volume is king, and I think Shakir is going to get the volume. So I'll lean Shakir. And
it's not going to be your man Keon Coleman this week.
Keon Coleman is more of the touchdown big threat guy. I think Shakir is the safety blanket. So for the volume, I'll take Shakir. But I still like Keon Coleman this week as well. I do have him in some of my DFS lineups. All right, we got another one here from Justin Pierce. He only used last names. So
I think it's AJ Brown.
The AJ Brown, yeah, AJ Brown, Breece Hall, or I don't know if that's Javonte Williams or if it's Jamison Williams, half PPR.
Well, either way, I'm taking him out. It's between Brown and Hall for me.
Yeah. What the Jets have the Bills and AJ Brown. Who do they play this week?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Cowboys. Isn't it? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah. They're playing the Chiefs. They're on the
Here's my question: if you are deciding between AJ Brown and Breece Hall in a flex, who's your starter? Who are your starters? Like legitimately, not. I want to know because AJ Brown should be your.
He's saying they're all running backs. So
Javonte then.
Yeah, it's Javonte Williams and then Breece Hall and then
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown.
Yes. Okay. I was like,
okay, so now.
Well, that makes it even easier.
This makes a lot more sense.
It's Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, 100%.
I have Chase Brown at number 3 overall running back this week.
Chase Brown is also the highest owned player in DFS projected this week.
Wow.
Again, I mentioned that game. It's the highest total game on the slate. Points will be scored. I do think that he gets almost all the volume there. I mean, there's literally nobody else
Oh,
behind.
yeah.
So I think it's Chase Brown, hands
Yeah.
down.
Like, I mean, Brees Hall's close behind him, not too far, but you got to go Chase Brown.
Chase Brown literally got 100% of the team's rushing attempts last week. The next highest in the league was DeAndre Swift at 89%. So nobody else is touching the ball in that backfield. When they put Samaje Perine back there, it is for reception purposes. Perine had a 27% target share, 0 rushing attempts.
Yeah, it's the Chase Brown show for sure.
Absolutely.
So next question we got from my buddy Matt Parlay. He wants to know Evans or Ibuka, because he has both. And then in the flex, who you got, Pickens, Tet, or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'll let you go first on this one, Topher. I feel like I've taken over the show.
Okay. No, you haven't.
You've been great, Jeff.
Yeah. Thanks for could you repeat those names again?
So let's just start with Evans or Ibuka for now.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with Evans. I think Evans.
I was leaning.
Evans is gonna give you production.
Yeah, I'm gonna sweep it. I know Mbuka looked great last week, but he's still a rookie. There's gonna be things that he hasn't seen before, coverages that he hasn't seen before, and we don't know. We haven't seen the consistency yet. So give me the guy that's probably the most consistent receiver in the history of the NFL.
Yes.
I'll take Mike Evans.
Now, next it's Pickens, Tet, or Marvin Harrison Jr. in the flex.
So I do have a question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer or not, but in the flex, can you put Mbuka in the flex?
Yes, he can. I'm looking at his team right now.
Okay, because then I think I would throw Mbuka in that mix. However, I think I'm going to lean in his personal bias. I'm not going to have any stats to back this. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. I've talked about him all off season. I think he's going to have a breakout year. He had a good week 1. He would have had a bigger week 1 if he had got that 98-yard touchdown that Murray just missed by a hair. So I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr., but I think I would take Mbuka over Pickens or Tet if you had a second flex spot.
Yeah, Pickens only had a 13% target share in week 1. Lamb had 41%. Is that going to continue to happen? No, but we already know that Dak and CeeDee Lamb are going to help Dallas stay in games, win games. We don't know if Pickens will do that. I think besides McBride, there's literally nobody else that's even going to be close to touching Marvin Harrison in the receiving game. And Marvin Harrison was PPR wide receiver 14 last week. The next highest Cardinals wide receiver was 108.
Yeah.
So it was literally 94 spots above the number 2 wide receiver on his team. Yeah. I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. on that. My order on those 5 would go Evans, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ibuka, Pickens, Tet.
Wow, that's crazy because I have Tet the highest. Do we know Arizona's defense? Do they play more man or zone?
I have no idea. I'm bad. I don't know those things. Sorry, bro.
I know Tet is awesome versus zone. He catches like over 90% of his catches versus man. It was like a 50% catch rate. I think even last week, versus man, Tet didn't even catch one pass. I just know he eats versus zone.
I am so worried about.
I'm scared about the rookies, and I'm also scared that Bryce Young reverted because he didn't look good last week. So
no, that's my thing. Is I think Bryce Young and that offense just does not look good. Yeah, Bryce Young threw for 154 yards.
Yeah,
and had almost just over a 50% target, 50% completion percentage. I don't want to trust that.
Agreed. So we got a couple more questions in the chat. I'm going to skip Mike's for now. I'll come back to Mike in a minute. I want to get the B League, his question asked here. He's got a question. PPR, I need a wide receiver 3. Thornton, Diami, or Downs are the 3. Wow. It must be a very deep league, and I know Dan plays in some deep leagues. So I think for me, and I'm looking at this from a DFS perspective because we talked about him a little bit on the show Friday night. I'm leaving Thornton, honestly. I think Diami and Downs, I think, has been replaced by Tyler Warren. I don't know if Downs is going to be a big part of the offense going forward. So it's Thornton for me. It's a little bit risky because it's you got to count on the big play threat, but that's who I'm going with.
So for me, I love Diami Brown. He's my most owned wide receiver in best ball because I was getting him in the 18th round. But I think it's going to be a Downs week because Surtain's going to be locking up Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to throw the ball to someone else besides Warren. So I'm going to go Downs.
And I'm not going to help at all because I like Diami Brown. As as we've talked about before, they have the highest over-under of the week, according to Vegas odds. And Diami Brown's going to get some of that target share. I think that he's not going to be crazy, but I think that he could end up with 70, 80 yards this week out of nowhere. I think that's a possibility.
Yeah. So Dan, I can just picture Dan right now like cussing us because we couldn't make a decision for him. We split 3 ways.
I got a feeling, man, if you don't start Downs, he's going to get like 7 catches, 60 yards.
It's very possible. I'm just a little worried about Downs after week 1, and they're talking about getting Warren even more snaps and more targets. So, all right, back to the chat. Though I skipped over Mike's question because it was Scott Fishbowl related. I wanted to get Dan's in there first. So again, Scott Fishbowl scoring. He is
funky.
Nuts for starting Strange. It's Brenton Strange, Johnson, and Chig. So all tight ends over Kenneth Walker.
Well, you definitely got to start Strange.
Yeah, Strange.
I got him in my lineup over a lot of people.
He's starting all 3 of those guys over Kenneth Walker. That's his question, essentially. Is he?
Yeah, I think I might go Kenneth Walker over Chig.
Yeah.
I can see that. I'm going to tell you, last week, Chig had 3 receptions for 19 yards and scored 13.4. Kenneth Walker had 20 rushing yards, 10 attempts, and then 3 receptions for 4 yards, and had 14.9 points. Chig, and Walker was in for 40% of snaps. Chig was in for 88% of snaps. I think based off of availability and being on the field more, I think you go with Chig. That's my thought. Yeah. I've been team Charbonnet all off season. I think that Kenneth Walker is not all that he once was.
He's playing against a good defense again this week too. Yeah. I know they didn't look great last week against the Jets, but that Steelers defense is supposed to be legit, so it could be a tough day for him. I'm going to assume that's Jawan Johnson, who I think led all tight ends in targets last week.
Yep.
And obviously Brenton Strange. I think those 2 are locked. It's really between Kenneth Walker and Chig. And with the Scott Fishbowl scoring, I think I'm also going to go Chig. And I'll tell you why. I liked Chig a lot in the offseason. He is kind of their big play wide receiver playing tight end. He's, one of the fastest, most athletic tight ends in the league. And he didn't have a great week 1 as far as targets go, but he's got a better matchup this week that I think he can exploit. So I'm benching Kenneth Walker in the Scott Fishbowl. I make sure that I make that clear because in the other league, it may not be the case.
Exactly.
So we got a question from my buddy Jason, J-Man. You got full PPR. You got to choose 2. Jordan Mason, Montgomery, or Keon Coleman. What you guys say?
So I'll jump in here because these are 2 of my guys that I'm super high on. I talked about both of these guys. I actually went and did a hot take of Jordan Mason and said he would be getting more snaps by week 5. It wasn't hot enough a take because he got more snaps in week 1. So already taking the starting job, essentially. He was much more efficient than Aaron Jones. Has no passing game work. It's still going to Jones. That's a little bit on the downside there. So, but I think Jordan Mason I'm definitely locking him in. And we all know my love for Keon Coleman. I've been talking about him since his rookie year. I've drafted him. I think Jamie did the math. I have 41% exposure in my 19 leagues to Keon Coleman. So almost half of my leagues, I own Keon Coleman and I want more. So it's Keon Coleman for me in that sense. And I'll bench David Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree with all of it.
Yeah, so for me, I'm also going Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason and Montgomery are close for me. But I think you just got to go with the volume. Jordan Mason, I think he scores a touchdown this week. Gibbs and Montgomery, I don't know what to think of that without Ben Johnson. I want to see it more. But, yeah, I'm going to go Coleman also.
All right, drop the Mike's got one. Deep league, he's got Josh Downs, Marvin Mims, Trey Benson, Brian Robinson. He needs 2 of those guys. So again, for Topher,
thank you.
Josh Downs, Marvin Mims, Trey Benson, and Brian Robinson. He needs 2. So immediately, I'm gonna eliminate Brian Robinson. Christian McCaffrey's healthy. I think he had like 80% of the snaps last week. He had like 31 touches, which is a ridiculous amount for a guy that's supposed to be questionable coming in. Shanahan doesn't care. Like he's always shown that. I'm a fan of the 49ers. If you're on the field, he don't care if you're healthy. If you're out there, he's going to use you. So he does that with Christian McCaffrey. Who cares? There's no resting. So I'm definitely going to go and eliminate Brian Robinson. And then I think I'm also going to eliminate Trey Benson. He had one big play, right, last week. That's what really, popped off the sheet. If you're just stat watching and you're looking at the box score, you go, he had more yards than James Conner, but he had one, I think, 53-yard run that kind of changed things a little bit. So for me, it's Downs and Mims.
Yeah, I'm gonna go also Downs for sure, 100%. Mims, I know Mike's a big fan of his. What he did last week isn't what he normally is supposed to do, right? I think he got 4 targets, caught 3 of them for 12 yards. When we know this guy can go out and get 1 catch for 50-plus yards and a touchdown at any given moment. He played 50% of the snaps and 4 targets on 50% of the snaps. That's not bad. So I'm just expecting more of those deep targets. He only got 1 deep target last week. He's supposed to get more. That's what he does. So, yeah, I'm going to go Mims for the upside.
Yeah, Mims' ADOT last week was only 8.5. ADOT is average depth of target. So Sutton, his teammate, had an ADOT of 12.2. So Marvin was not utilized in the game like he normally should be. I don't think Bo Nix looked that amazing last week.
No, he didn't. He looked atrocious last week.
He did. And I don't know if I might start Benson over Mims because Benson, they're playing the Carolina Panthers, Arizona is. And I think with that, they're going to get up. They're going to give more opportunities to Benson to run. Just because last week, Connor saw the ball, saw 12 carries, but only gained 39 yards. So, and they gave Benson the ball 8 times. So it's a 1A, 1B situation where Connor's clearly the 1A. But in a positive game script, I think you have a better chance with a Benson than you have with a Mims, in my personal thoughts right now.
Just real quick, interesting nugget that just got tweeted out by Adam Scheffner. It has nothing to do with fantasy, just an interesting nugget. There are 4 quarterback matchups today featuring the number 1 overall pick versus the number 1 overall pick, and it's the most in NFL history. You got Matt Stafford versus Cam Ward. You got Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams versus Jared Goff, and Bryce Young versus Kyler Murray. So 4 games featuring 4 quarterbacks, all drafted number 1 overall. Pretty cool nugget.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. I also saw, where was it? I did see something where it's replaying like 2 national title games in a Super Bowl as well. So Michael Penix and who are they playing this week?
Let's
Falcons.
see. Falcons. Who the Falcons got? I can't remember. I'm looking now. Vikings.
Okay, so J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix played in the national championship. I can't remember who the other duo was.
Super Bowl, obviously, is Eagles-Chiefs.
Yeah, Super Bowl is Eagles-Chiefs. And then there is another recent national championship game where those 2 teams are playing. So there's some fun non-fantasy related nuggets this week.
All right, so Justin Pierce asks Keon Coleman or Booty?
Keon Coleman.
Yeah,
Keon Coleman or Booty?
It's Coleman. It's Coleman for me. Booty, we've seen 1 game from Booty. I'm still not trusting it yet.
Hold on. Seeing 1 game from Booty, I would definitely disagree with that. Let me pull it up. Because Booty had
more boom or bust, though.
That's what people think. But I need to find my tweets about it because I talked about it.
I do love myself some Booty, obviously.
Let's see. So, Booty. Okay. Before the over the last 4 regular season games, including week 1, Kayshon Booty has the 5th most receiving yards out of all receivers, behind Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, and Ladd McConkey. The other 2 behind him, BTJ, Justin Jefferson. His last 4 games, 5 receptions, 95 yards, and a touchdown. 4 receptions, 28 yards. 7 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. And 6 receptions, 103 yards, and 0 touchdowns. I think that Kayshon Booty is slowly becoming the giant asset that we once saw when he was at LSU, where he was predicted to be number 1 receiver prospect going into the NFL before his injury. I think that Booty over the last 4 out of 5 games has put up wide receiver 1 numbers.
Giant asset, no pun intended.
Yes. There's a different, if you watch the connection that him and Drake may have, it's different. It's different than he has with any of his other receivers. It just seems smooth. I'm going Booty all the way. I think if you look at if you look at Booty versus Coleman, even Coleman, yes, this past week was awesome. He was great, but Coleman last season had 1 game above 70 yards.
Yeah, we all know Coleman's last season. I didn't let Jeff forget about that.
Yeah. I heard about it literally every podcast. He had to bring it up. Even when we weren't even talking about Keon.
I was in love with Keon Coleman coming into the season. Heartbreak over and over and over. Kayshon Booty has done more in the past 4 weeks than Keon Coleman has done in his collective 4 best weeks of his career.
All right, so our next question is a 14-man full PPR. He's got McBride as tight end 1. He runs double flex. He has Hollywood Brown as the 1. And he's choosing between Juwan Johnson or DeAndre Swift. This one's pretty easy for me, and I can't believe you have all these guys in a 14-man league.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going DeAndre Swift. I know Roshan's back and it's probably going to take 2-3 touchdowns from Swift.
Jamie
I'm going Swift, man.
Yeah, I think I'm going Swift as well. I actually do like Juwan Johnson today to potentially score a touchdown, but we're talking about going with the safe option. I'm going with Swift because and I drew a blank on his name, but the 49ers are very good at covering the tight ends. And I can't think of my middle linebacker's name right now. I'm drawing a blank.
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, thank you. Fred Warner is one of the best in the NFL at covering the tight ends. You know, Jawan Johnson can still get loose and get a touchdown. I'm not saying he's going to shut down completely, but between these two guys, I'm going with Swift.
Yeah, I can see that. I will say that Jawan Johnson, I don't think it's a ridiculous thing. In his last 4 out of 6 games, he's had over 50 yards or more. And in those games, he has had 3 of those games, he has had 7 or more targets, including a target 10 and 11 targets. So Jawan Johnson is Spencer Rattler's favorite target. He even was the most targeted from Spencer Rattler last season with 33, and he led the Saints this past week in targets again. I think you're right with Fred Warner, but I do think that he is being utilized in such a way that Jawan Johnson is a really good, safe option each week.
So I got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I have all 4 of these quarterbacks in my top 10, and I have them all on my dynasty team. So it's Fields, Herbert, May, Nix. I got to start 2.
Start 2. Okay. Fields, Herbert, May, and Nix. So Fields, lock them in.
Lock in Fields?
Yeah, lock in Fields. Rushing upside is there. You know, he could have a bad game throwing the ball and still get 100 yards rushing and a touchdown and still pay off. And then it was Nix, May, and who was the other one? Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
So Herbert has the Raiders. May has who do they have? The Titans?
No, May has the Dolphins.
And I know that's why I have him in my top 10.
Yeah, that's.
So I think Nix is the odd man out. So
yeah,
yes. Herbert and May.
Yeah, it's between Herbert and May, and honestly, I think I'm going to go May only because the game that we saw from Herbert last week is not the game that John Harbaugh wants to play. Right? He wants to ground and pound, run the ball. Keep Justin Herbert under like 30 pass attempts. They just had to throw the ball last week a lot, and they did it successfully. But that's not their typical game script. So I'll go with May here with the thought that he's going to be also getting some yards with his feet. You know, he's a pretty athletic quarterback as well, and he has some decent options this year, more than he had last year. So I think it's May for me.
Yeah, I have here's how I have my quarterbacks ranked. I have Drake May 7, Justin Herbert 8, Justin Fields 9. So
hey, that helps, yeah.
Yeah, that helps a lot. And then I have Bo Nix at 15. So Bo Nix is the odd man out. I think that I have Fields at the bottom of those 3 because I think that Fields, yes, he has that rushing upside, but I don't know. We've seen Fields not be good.
Yeah.
We've seen Fields struggle, and they're facing the Buffalo Bills.
That was going to be my argument is Buffalo Bills saw Justin Fields on steroids last week, right? They saw Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And he lit them up. You know what I mean? They couldn't stop him. So Justin Fields is nowhere near Lamar Jackson, but a similar type of quarterback. And the Buffalo Bills could not find an answer for Lamar Jackson. I think they're going to struggle with Justin Fields as well.
I totally see where you're going with that, and I think you could absolutely be right. I would start Drake May and Justin Herbert, but I think if you start Fields over Herbert, I wouldn't argue with that either.
So Jamie, I have Drake May and Herbert in right now, and I'm just struggling sitting Fields.
Well, I mean, I think we decided, right? We're going to start Justin Fields and Justin. That's it. Pick one of the Justins.
So we're starting. You said Justin Fields and a Justin. So you mean Drake May? Start Drake May and one
Drake
of the Justin.
May and a Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drake May, one of the Justins.
Yep.
I guess I can't go wrong either way. See, do we have any more questions in the chat?
Let me see.
Good.
Yeah, the chat's good. Let me check the
Um,
board and see if we got anything there. We got how much time we got left? 5 more minutes.
5 minutes.
5 more
I don't
minutes.
mind it going over, but Mahomes or Baker? What do you think?
Baker, easily.
Baker, touchdown
Baker.
Baker.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's Baker for me because of the matchup. The Eagles just match up real well with the Chiefs.
Yes. And let's be real. Their top 2 receivers are out.
Yeah, that's what.
Like,
yep.
Yeah. That's my thought. I also think with your dynasty play, I think you also, depending on who's on your roster, if you can have a little bit more of a boom or bust situation, I go with Justin Fields. If you need more security, then I go with Justin Herbert.
I mean,
That's
my roster's pretty stacked. I got Genty, Brees Hall, Higgins, Ibuka, Pickens, Metcalf, Devonta Smith in my lineup.
Yeah, I go Fields then, because I feel like Fields has the higher ceiling every week because of his rushing. And we saw him play very well last week. Is that going to happen every week? We all know that's a no. But as Jeff was saying, he is Lamar Jackson light. And the Bills couldn't do that. Couldn't stop it. So I think if you want to trounce your opponent, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I just put in Fields.
And if it's wrong,
I'll still win.
We can blame Jeff. And if we get it right, we can thank me.
Yeah, if we get it wrong, then Jeff's not invited to the podcast next week.
Yes.
Let's see. Any others? You guys got any other ones?
I do have one here. He's got 3 receivers here. I think one of them is going to be locked in, but I'm going to go ahead and give them to you anyway. A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, Keenan Allen. He has to start one full PPR.
Oh, obviously, A.J. Brown's locked in.
Yeah.
I got him in my top 10. And I got to go Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh, easily. He had
He's
16
the number 1
targets
target
last week
for Mahomes.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going Hollywood as well. We jokingly called him Bollywood for a while, but I think he earned Hollywood back after last week's game.
Yes, I agree with them. I think that there's some reviving going on right there.
So I got a tough one real quick. A.O. Manor or Gainwell?
A.O. Manor.
Yep,
Yeah,
A.O. Manor.
Yeah, he had a ridiculous target share last week. Didn't do
know he had over 7 targets, I think.
Yep.
He only caught 2, but that just makes me think he's gonna see more volume as season progresses.
Yeah. Ibuka or Ridley?
I'm gonna go Ibuka, man.
I know Ridley's a popular DFS play, but it's probably more based on his price tag than it is actual talent. And he's got a bad matchup too. So yeah, I'm gonna go Ibuka.
That's what I have, but it was one of those that it's like, I don't know. Let me.
I got one here from one of my leagues. So my starting tight end was Dallas Goedert. Obviously, he is not playing. So my 3 tight ends that I have to choose from are Loveland, Dalton Schultz, and Brenton Strange.
Oh, I'm going Strange all day.
Yes, Strange, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I was starting to wonder if maybe Loveland can have like a breakout game like last week.
He could, but I'm not going to call it. Like right now, I think I have Loveland closer to tight end 30 this week. But Strange is closer to that top 10.
Yeah.
Or 15, yeah.
Yep. I'm with you.
Let's see what else. I got some more here.
Well, I mean, I think we got time for one more, and then we can wrap it up.
All right, Jamie, you got one?
Gino or Flacco?
Oh,
Geno Smith.
That's who I have higher, so that's what I'm thinking.
I have Geno Smith at the end of the season as like a QB, like QB 16. He is a middle upper QB 2 for me.
are y'all buying the revenge narrative with Flacco going back home to Baltimore?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they purposely scheduled this game, 30-year anniversary, Browns versus Ravens early in the season, the home opener like this with Joe Flacco being the quarterback. It's stuff you see in a TV show. Like
Yeah,
this is
that
movie.
crazy, but
This
it
is
the
Hollywood
Browns.
stuff.
Yeah, it is the Browns and the Ravens. Coming off a pretty big win last week. Maybe it's the letdown game.
Well, they lost last week. The Ravens lost.
Right. Yeah.
And you got to remember the Browns beat Baltimore last year in a game no one thought the Browns were going to win.
That's true.
I think the Browns are going to see a whole lot of Derrick Henry today. So
Yeah.
that keeps the Browns off the field. So it keeps Flacco off the field. So no, I'm going to lean the other way. Bench Flacco. Go Geno.
Yep. Me too. I'm all Geno on that. Okay. Well, thank you for those of you that have sent in your questions that are watching. We appreciate it. We appreciate that Jeff was here on the show with us this week.
Thanks for having me.
Feel free to join us anytime, even while you're at Lowe's. We can just have you put like a little helmet GoPro cam on
and just walk around the store.
Exactly.
Helping customers and helping fantasy players all at the same time.
Exactly. Multitasking. Okay. Well, good luck, everybody. Don't suck. That's my advice to you after all of this. I know it's really, really impressive advice, and I came up with it myself, but what I can only do so much.
You should end every show like that. Don't suck. See you
Yeah.
Make sure you go out there and win because no one likes a loser.
That's how Jamie likes to end it. Okay. Thank you, everybody.